One of the biggest storylines in the NFL right now revolves around what the Minnesota Vikings will decide to do at the quarterback position. Head coach Kevin O'Connell entered the season with complete confidence in J.J. McCarthy, naming the rookie as his undisputed starter even though McCarthy had never taken a single regular season snap before. It was a bold move, one that reflected both trust in McCarthy's potential and the organization's belief in his long-term upside. Behind the scenes, the Vikings worked tirelessly to strengthen their quarterback room. They explored multiple options, determined to secure a reliable backup who could step in if necessary. At one point, the team even extended a lucrative offer to Daniel Jones, hoping to convince him to stay in Minnesota. However, Jones ultimately made the decision to move on, a choice that proved beneficial for him, as he now leads the Indianapolis Colts as their starting quarterback. That turn of events left the Vikings in a delicate position, with a young, untested signal caller leading the offense and a coaching staff trying to balance patience with the pressure to win immediately. O'Connell's confidence in McCarthy remains strong, but the decision has sparked debates across the league about whether the Vikings took too big of a gamble or whether they found the next face of their franchise. NFL insider Tom Pelissero appeared on NFL Game Day to provide an update on the Minnesota Vikings quarterback situation, and he made one thing clear: J.J. McCarthy remains the team's starting quarterback. The Vikings quarterback situation is, at the very least, uncertain, Pelissero explained. From what I've been told, J.J. McCarthy had a strong week during the team's bye. He's expected to return to practice this week, though he's still not completely recovered from the high ankle sprain. Pelissero went on to emphasize that the coaching staff wants to carefully monitor McCarthy's mobility and physical response before clearing him to play. They need to evaluate how well he moves, how that ankle holds up under pressure, and, most importantly, make sure he feels comfortable and confident running the offense, he said. It's not just about being healthy enough to stand in the pocket. It's about being fully ready to execute the game plan at a high level. The Vikings' approach shows how cautious and strategic they're being with their young quarterback. Rather than rushing McCarthy back onto the field, they're prioritizing his long-term health and performance. The team wants to be absolutely certain that when he steps onto the field again, he'll be operating at full strength, both mentally and physically, ready to lead the offense without hesitation. Over the past 3 weeks, speculation has continued to swirl around the Minnesota Vikings and whether the team had quietly decided to bench their rookie starter. The conversations gained even more traction after the Vikings' dominant 48-10 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. Following the game, head coach Kevin O'Connell was asked directly whether J.J. McCarthy would regain his starting role once he's fully healthy. And while his answer wasn't an outright confirmation, it left little room for doubt. First and foremost, he's got to get healthy, O'Connell said on September 22nd. And through that entire process, I don't think it's one of those situations where, the moment he's cleared, say the night before a game, we're just going to throw him out there and tell him, hey, go figure it out. That's not how we're approaching this. O'Connell emphasized that development and preparation remain key components of McCarthy's growth. We saw how outstanding he was in getting ready for the Atlanta game, he continued. But even then, he missed practice time that week, and that matters. When you're in the stage of your career where you're stacking those 10,000 reps and logging those 10,000 hours it takes to truly master the position, every single snap counts. And JJ understands that. He's wired that way. There's no shortcut to becoming great. The coach also hinted that the decision on McCarthy's return won't be rushed or forced. This isn't something we need to decide right now, O'Connell concluded. What matters most is making sure JJ is ready, not just physically, but mentally and rhythmically, to step back in and perform at the level we know he's capable of. His comments painted a clear picture. McCarthy's spot as the Vikings quarterback of the future remains secure, but the team intends to be deliberate, thoughtful, and disciplined about the timing of his return.